So, in most cases, when you talk to storytellers, and specifically writers, they always think about what is the story that you want to tell. I actually don't. It is rare when I have a story to tell. I'm not one of those writers that has 100 stories in a little box that she is just waiting to have the time to actually pull out and tell a story about it. It's really hard for me to actually come up with a story that I am interested in telling. The way that I approach story first is, what is it that I want to say? Not what is the story that I want to tell. So I always approach story from theme. Thematically, what is it that I want to say? And once I know what it is that I want to explore thematically in a story, then I can build a story around that theme. So for example, in the case of La Misma Luna, I am asked, even 10 years later, that movie premiered 10 years ago. So even 10 years later, when I go to classrooms or when there are, special screenings of the film, they always ask me, why did you decide to tell a story about undocumented immigrants? Or more recently now, the question that I'm asked all the time is, why is it that you wanted to tell a story about an unaccompanied minor? And I always say, that's not what I set out to do. I actually wanted to tell a story about abandonment. And then I built a story about abandonment in an immigration story. So that's really what I'm always exploring, is theme in my storytelling. And then I build that around that. Now, obviously, in the case of La Misma Luna, I integrated a lot of cultural significance, right? This is something that affects really people all over the world, and migrants all over the world. But for me, it was really telling the story of a Mexican kid, about the Mexican experience and what it's like for a child whose parents or parent feel like they have to come to this country to provide a better life for them. But the question that I'm asking in the film is, what is better? For the kid to have a better life, or for the kid to have his parents? And that is something that I just relate to it, not on a human level only, but on a Mexican level, because there are hundreds of thousands of families and children that are left behind as a result of their parents having to come and live here.